last weekend, I went to Tokyo for the Tokyo Game Market, and I acquired all of these games. So I have a problem. I have to create content for all these games, and there's so much to talk about, from the event to the people, and as well as to the games and the experience of just being there in Tokyo. Now, I'm completely overwhelmed with the experience. So I'm gonna make several little videos as opposed to one giant video. And this video, I'm gonna talk about these games, because I think that's what people are mostly interested in. I know I'm charming and kind of good looking. Someone called me an Asian Albert Einstein. But in this video, I'm just gonna talk about the games and my initial impressions, because I've played most of these already. That's right, for you. Now, before we begin, you may be asking, Jay, how do I get these games? You're telling me all about these games and I can't get them. Maybe you're not crying. Maybe you're just angry. Jay, I can't get them. Why are you telling me about these games? I don't like you. Well, hey, I already made a video about how to buy games from Japan. I'll put a link up here and a link down below. Check that video out. It gives you everything you need to get started. And if you have any further questions, comment down below and I'll make sure I answer them for you. Now, on to the games. First up is Shephy. Shephy is a solo card game. Came out quite a few years ago. I've been hearing a lot about it. Finally picked up a copy. And it is all about taking one sheep and turning it into 1,000. You have a deck of cards with these event cards. You play a card, draw a card, play a card, draw a card, and hopefully within 4 iterations of that deck, or at least under them, you have 1,000 sheep. It is wild, it is crazy. The art is super cute. I can't wait to tell you more about it. That is Shephy. Ooh, great game. Now, by the same designer is Goritaire, which is just bananas. It's a very crazy game. All the cards are either a gorilla with some great philosophical quote or nonsensical quote, and bananas. And you have to create this giant pyramid of 7 gorillas on the base and then moving all the way up. If you make 7, then you win, and then as you build up gorillas on higher levels, you could actually activate different abilities, and all the abilities are crazy, and you're wondering, well, I could get this to finish the game, but if I put a gorilla up higher, I could do this crazy special ability. It is really, really bananas, and because of that, I've been using the word bananas all week, and my wife is just going crazy. I definitely like Shephy more. I think Goritaire is a little bit too crazy. It misses a player aid listing out all those abilities, which I kind of think the game really needs. But overall, I love both of these games. If you're a solo player, I can't recommend them enough. Itin has 2 new games in the Funbrick series. This is Tower of Doubt, and this is Wonder Bowling. Now, Tower of Doubt is a 2-player game. You put this, both of these games are actually unique in the Funbrick series because you use the tray as a game board. And here you're gonna put like these little towers here, and you can only see one side. And you're slowly gonna do this area control over them. At the end of the game, you're gonna reveal the value of each of the towers, because you're gonna see half the information and your players, how your opponent is playing. I like this game because it requires bluffing and getting into your opponent's mind, and I love that about games. So I really can't wait to do content about this. This is a party game, Wonder Bowling. If you play this game, do not play on a smooth surface. You definitely want this to stand on something with a little bit more texture, like a cloth. And it has these little bowling pins you put on here, and this little dumbbell that you use to hit the box, not the pins, hit the box. And I was really surprised, like how sturdy these stay on here. Like you had to hit quite hard. And this was just a lot of fun. My group of friends that we played this with, we were both laughing and having a silly time. And I think this is a really good, cute little cute little party game from Itin. And I can't wait to do a teach and play video with both of these games and share more ideas about this. Now, if you want to see these games and see some ideas of like what these pictures are, because I'm not going to put too many pictures in this video, go to my Instagram where I'm taking pictures of all these games and I'm posting them up there and sharing a little bit of my thoughts. Whale to Look is the new Oink game. This one is from Sasaki-san and Bruno Ferduti, so that's really cool. And this is definitely a keeper. I played this, and just like Tower of Doubt, there is a little bit of bluffing involved, trying to get to the player's mindset, because you're trying to find where the whale is going and where the orc is going, and you're trying to find out where has the most fish, that's where the whale is, the fewest fish, that's where the orc is going, and you're trying to get your boats there, lay anchor, get more points, but you don't want to lay your anchor too soon because it's really obvious. And I find this to be a lot of fun, really simple, really bright, super adorable and colorful. This is a winner here. I think it's definitely one of the best Oink games ever. This is a new game from Titan Heads. Now, Titan Heads did Unreliable Wizard. I did a playthrough of this. I have not played this game yet because this is how crazy Tokyo Game Market is. Like, this is totally print and play. I have to cut these out with scissors. These components all come on sheets of paper, and I gotta cut it out and make a mountain and like take my guy and start climbing with him. I am really curious about this because I loved Unreliable Wizard. I thought it was a really clever system for a solo playing game, especially for like a nice little JRPG and like 32 cards. And I'm really curious to see what this designer is next. And he did a hiking game, so I'll expect more from this. I'll find time to eventually cut it and learn the game, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, we've talked a lot about solo games. This is Last Dungeon from Jugami. Now, Jugami Games, or Jugame, always makes these really cute, very cool art style for all their games. And this one is a deck building dungeon crawler, but you're the dungeon lord and you're trying to prevent these heroes from coming in and stealing all your treasure. And it's really good. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking, well, that sounds a lot like Boss Monster. It's very different. Very different than Boss Monster. The deck building here, because when you kill a hero, you can either use them for money, like you just take the loot and just leave the body alone, or you possess them and they become like your minions and go into your deck. And it's really good. I was really surprised with this game. I think this is fantastic. There is Japanese on the cards, but if you just download like the Google Translate app and just use your camera, it should be fine. Really easy. I found this to be a ton of fun, and I can't recommend this one enough. I can't wait to do a teach and play video for you. This, I'm not sure what to call this game, but this is a perfect example of why Game Market is so unique. Tokyo Game Market is the world's largest convention of independent board game publishers, and there were just tons this year. And unlike other expos, like if you go to Essen and someone sells out of games, they're just gonna stand there and chill out and maybe show you some demos. But at Game Market, if someone sells out, they leave and then someone else comes into their place. It's very bizarre. This guy sold out super quickly. This is a solo game. And you can play with multiplayers, and it's with these really cute penguins, and these penguins have to move around on the board to a different place each time, and you're trying to manipulate all the penguins in a certain way just to get one to where you're going. I found this to be really interesting, a really cool abstract, and I think really representative of what makes Tokyo Game Market so special. So I can't wait to share this with you. Whew, I had forgotten like the heat. It was so cold in Tokyo, and it is so hot in Taiwan. I am just sweating in my living room. So in complete contrast to that is this game. This is Strive in Squares. This is from Gotani or Gota 2. They have a few games on Switch. Maybe you've heard of them. This game has really good quality components. It's a tile laying game because they love tile laying games in Japan. But it's a nice two-player abstract, and you play these tiles and try to push them and trying to control the center. And you're playing each tile is like a different fairy, and they're all double-sided. And it has kind of this feeling of the Duke. Kazuya, I think, did a really good job here, especially with the production quality, because it looks really nice. I've only played this a few times. I only played these games all just a few times. So I want to play them more and then do like teach and play videos and show you all about them. And this one, I think, is a good winner. And I think if you like two-player tile laying abstracts, I think this one's definitely one for you. And it's a looker. It looks really nice. Just the art is just, I don't know how to say it, just pleasant to look at. Yeah. Now, Hasashi Hayashi makes some great games, and I haven't played them yet. 12 Seekers is a card game, and apparently you, like, the land has been destroyed, and like you're these lords, and you're trying to hire these seekers or like dungeon divers into going to the dungeons to find treasure for you. I don't know why they're giving you the treasure, but this is another two-player game, and I haven't played it yet. I punched it out. I've seen people play it. Like on a Friday night, like before Tokyo Game Market started. And I've seen Concord. Now, Concord is a cooperative game. Both of these do have Japanese on the cards, but that's no big deal with like the Google Translate app. You just play it through it. I can't wait to play these and do like a teach and play videos for you, because Hasashi Hayashi always makes interesting games, and I can't wait to share these with you. Okay, now we're hitting a spell about games that I haven't played yet. This is from March Hare Games. Now, March Hare Games did Dice Fishing, which came out a few years ago, and it was a big hit internationally. People loved it, And this is kind of the same thing, except now it's kind of like this little RPG hike. You're hiking and going all across this land, and each like little place or touristy place you're visiting, you work out and get like bigger, awesome, more muscles, which is so bizarre. But I'm on this journey right now of getting into better physical shape, and the theme just really resonated with me because I really love hiking too. So I can't wait to play this game and share with you more of my thoughts. Hoi Games that did Master of Respect and the 2-player version of Master of Respect, which I already have and I didn't pick up there. And but I'll do a review of this. Don't worry. I think this one's closer before most of these. But he came up with a roll and write game. And I am from Texas. I kind of grew up with the Deep South. And this is called Gone with the Beans. So I just had to get it. And it's a very bizarre Yuri roll and write game. I haven't played it yet. This is the second edition with a nicer box, an insert, better map, better cards. I am going to play this this week and share my thoughts about it later on. If you want to know, if you can't wait to know what I think about these games, again, go to my Instagram. I show pictures of these games and I'm working my way through them, sharing more and more of my thoughts leading up to an eventual video. Okay, I have played all these games, so let's talk about these. Now, this is a really interesting drafting game. It's called Yonso, and it originally was a dim sum theme, and I think the dim sum theme fit more than the flowers, but either way, it's just a drafting game. But what's really interesting is that, like with Seven Wonders, you take one card, you take a hand of cards and you pass one. But this one, you pass two, and it's really, really interesting. You don't really pass two at the same time. You put two down next to you, and then the person only drafts one. So you never know which card they get. You kind of do, but you will totally forget. And you can feel this pain as you're passing these cards and knowing like, okay, I'm beating in these, I gotta change it up, but I still gotta score the cards from my hand. Really simple game, but it plays like really high player counts, like 4 to 8. What is it? 4. This is 2 to 8, but I think you definitely need this for like 4 to 8 for it to really, really work. But it's a really interesting game. Also from the same publisher, I believe it's the same publisher, is Cryptrick. Now I talked about this in one of my earlier reels on Instagram. You're following me there, right? This is a really good trick-taking game. It's one of these small box trick-taking games. And it's really interesting because in this one, how you begin, when you lead, you take a card from your hand and people have to buy it. Someone has to buy it. And if they buy it, they give you a card and then they play that card. And then you finish the trick. And it's really interesting. And you don't win the game by the number of tricks you win or the number of tricks you lose. If you win a trick, you gain all the cards, like normal. But cards 3, 4, and 5, not 6, because the range is 1 to 6, 3, 4, and 5 have these little point markers on them, and whoever has the most of those wins the game. It's a nice, really interesting wrinkle into the series, as Taylor would say, a wrinkle in the trick-taking formula. But I found this to be really delightful and really simple. It might just be because I won the first few games, or every game that I played. So I like it. Say boo! I have not played this game yet, but it's another trick-taking game, and I'm really interested in playing it. I will have to play this sooner or later. I think it's because this publisher also has 2 of the games which aren't here. There's another trick-taking game that publisher made, and a solo dungeon crawl that I given it to my friend who's really fluent in Japanese, and he's gonna learn the game and then teach it to me, because that game is probably the #1 game I was super excited about for Game Market, and I cannot wait to show you that. Here's a picture of it. It looks so cool, right? That's Mori-san. Mori-san makes a lot of great games. He did Refinery. So I can't wait to play this and share more of my thoughts. So many games, so many games. Nightmare Millionaire. Now I didn't know about this game. I kind of knew about this game before I went, but I stumbled upon it when I met Vicky Themer. Really cool. Shout out, guys. You two make great content. If you haven't seen them, they make a lot of great fun content, and they're here on this side of the world. Really cool. This is a hand shedding game, like a ladder climbing game. Now, I grew up playing a variation of what the Taiwanese call Dalao or Big Old 2. And if you don't know what that is, that's fine. They probably have like different names. You play with a regular deck of cards in a hand shedding game, and it's pretty much, I think, that first hand shedding game that most people have played. I grew up playing like a Vietnamese version of it, and it was called something else. And then I went to like another state, and someone else was playing that game, and they called it something else. This is essentially that game with a few little wrinkles, and the wrinkles are like there's like a +3, like a blue. So if you play it with another blue, that 5 becomes an 8. And it's interesting because the cards only range from 1 to 6, but all of a sudden someone plays a 6, that's not necessarily you might win. Someone might play like a +5 and a 4, and I might have a 9. So that's really, really interesting. There's also these cards that beat 6s, so if someone plays something with a 6 or more than 6 cards, or a card that's worth more than 6, like an 11 or 12, then you can play that, and it's really, really smooth. It's very simple. I'm not sure how much replay value it is, but I really like how approachable it is. The art is really cool, has this great Halloween theme. I'm totally gonna play this like every October. Up next is Polar Pond Games, or Analog Lunchbox. Same guy, Masaki-san, makes great games. Polar Pond Games is a smaller box line of games that are a little bit simpler and not as heavy as the Analog Lunchbox games. This one is Attack. This one is Antique or Ghost, and it's a stock market game that plays from like 3 to 5. I definitely recommend this at 4 or 5. I have played this quite a few times. I played this before, and I finally acquired my own copy. I definitely want to make a review of this, or definitely like at least a teach and play. I think this game is really, really interesting. I definitely would give this maybe about a 7. I might not suggest it, but if someone wants to play it, I would totally play it without questions asked, because it is fun. The only problem I have is the same problem I have with most Polar Pond games, is that I think the UI could have been a lot better, like how they design the cards. But I think Parallel Time Machine Voyage, just gonna say Journey, is a much better game, and it plays from like 2 to 5. And again, just like this one, I wouldn't play this at the lower player count. I wouldn't play this at 2, because with 2 you have a hand of like 20 cards. Way too many cards. But like with 3 or 4, it's far more manageable. This one has like this little submarine traveling through time, and it's interesting because the first time I saw it played, the gamers kind of knew how to play, and Masaki was there and he was teaching them how to play, but the game was over in like a minute because they didn't really know what to do. It's like, okay, we're gonna slowly move the tub through time. And they're like, well, that's weird, the game is over. Maybe you should try this, you should try this. And I'm like, no, just let me try, I'll join in. We had a 4-player game, and I started traveling the boat through time, and everyone at the table was like, oh, that's how you play. And it got really nail-biting close at the end. And it's just to the point where like I have like 1 card left, and they had like 2 cards left, and I had to try and get rid of my card. Really interesting game, really nice components too. But again, I think the same problem that I had as before with all of his designs is that I think the UI could be a lot better. There was a lot of noise on the cards, and I think you got rid of that and just have the icon and the color, and that's really all you need. And make it a little like poker shapes with the icons on opposing sides. I think that would have been a better choice and definitely more approachable. But I still think it's a really good game. I've been saying that I should be playing more Korean games, and I finally got more Korean games. This is Memory Island and Cradle to Grave. I haven't played these yet, but they look very, very cute, very approachable, kind of kid-friendly games, and I can't wait to play them and share my thoughts with you. But, Ptolemy is from the same designer, Geo-Nil. I think I said that right. I probably said it absolutely wrong. Same designer as Jekyll vs. Hyde. This game is great. This is one of my favorite hand-shading games. It's a 2-player only, and the trick of the game is that you're moving these planets up and down, and the planets always have to move higher, so the value of your card doesn't really matter. It's the final position of the planet as it moves, and each round or each like trick that you play, the planet can only move once. So if you play a Mars card, then I can't play any of my Mars cards, and it's really, really interesting. I find this a lot. Some of my other friends found it's like, well, I could only play it like 10 times with them bored, but like, dude, like I could totally play this forever. It's really great. Dead astronomer, philosopher, mathematician game. Yes, please. Ooh, and in addition to Korean games, I found Vietnamese games. Now, I've only had like 1 other Vietnamese game. It's somewhere here. Oh, yes, here it is. By Hoi Fo, and this is from NHG, and they have Dookie. This is, I believe, very similar to Dixit. It has really, really beautiful artwork. Has this little envelope taped to the back for the Japanese rule. They didn't have to do this with like a cute little envelope, but they did. I think that's really cool. I'm sure I'm gonna like Dookie. I just gotta get a nice group of people together and play these games with them, and then share my thoughts with all of you. Now, I have been talking a lot about the Nikumi Onsen Hanjoki and Nikumi Onsen Nakatakuki, like these hot spring games, because I really, really like them a lot. So anytime the publisher comes up with something, I'm always really curious. The next game he came out was not like a Euro game, but it was a tactical card game called Deck the Tactics R. It's like this deck building game with really nice meeples, really bright, colorful meeples here. But the rulebook is like very, very heavy in Japanese. But a friend of mine is translating this and all the cards, and the fact that you get like all these different characters just looks so cool. Like, just like so much fun. I can't wait to dive into this and play this because I think it looks really, really cool. And that's Deck the Tactics R. I can't wait to share more of this with you. I can't wait to play all these games more. Oh my gosh, did you know this game? This is one of my favorite party games already. Like, I've already played it. This is, this is the black pink version. There's also a blue version, which is more PG, and black pink is, I guess, more adult in nature. This is called Secret Ranking, and this is, there are different kinds of party games. There are party games where you can play when you're just meeting people and you don't really know people really well, and there are a lot of great party games for that. There are also party games that are really good for friends who know each other for a long time, and this is probably one of the best ones for that. Secret Ranking is really simple. You have like 4 things on the table, and like they're some of the most hilarious things. Like these are things that Japanese might think are very saucy, or they might think that they might break up with you because it's just too scandalous, such as like probably knows gangsters. Seems to put mayonnaise on too much food, or like most likely uses adult toys in their spare time. Anyway, there's like there's a few of them on the table, and then you as the master are going to rank all your friends at the table. So you're going to give them like 1 to 6, and you're going to rank them in order. But the twist is that your friends don't know which category it is. So and then they have to cooperatively work together, and there's a point system that I'm still trying to figure out, but I have played this. And it's just, oh, do I eat too much mayonnaise? You don't eat too much mayonnaise. And it's really, really funny. But it only works when you know everyone at the table. Because when you know everyone, it becomes hilarious. And I really like this game. Now, I had a choice between this or the blue, which is more PC. But I think this one is just better. I like to play party games when I'm usually having like a nice drink or gin and tonics, or whiskey. I like whiskey too. But I think this one works well in that environment, and I can't wait to bring it out again because, wow, it's a lot of fun. Oh, this game. This is Hero versus Villain, and I have not played this game because it's still in shrink wrap, as you can see. But this is based off a game book. I had no idea what that was, and I met someone who writes game books for a living. If you don't know what game books are, essentially, like a long time ago, there were these choose your own adventure books where you go to 7, you flip to 7, you read that chapter, and then you have a choice of go to page 10, 15, or 32, and you go there. But then they had game books, and the most popular one that I can think of is Lone Wolf and Cub, where it's like an RPG thing. Like, oh, if you can talk to animals, go to page 10. If you can't talk to animals, go to page 13. If you want to kill the monster, and then like there you had dice and like a pen and paper, and you kind of RPG your way through the book, and it was really, really cool. I loved that series. And those kind of died off, but somewhere in like the 90s and early aughts, it became an online version, and they put all the Lone Wolf and Cubs like on a website. I believe it's called like the Aeon Project or something like that. And now it's a thing where people design their own game books, and some of them can be like 7,000 words, 10,000 words, or like 100,000 words. It can be huge, or they could be like a few branches or multiple branches. And I talked for quite a bit with the designer of this game, and this game is based off of one of his books that he made. So I'm really curious to play this game and share more about it with you. Oh, this game! If you just can't wait and you want to see coverage of the event itself and not about games, go to Watch Wolf Studios. Or Latch does, I think, really good job of talking about the Tokyo game market, and you definitely get a feel of what it looks like and what it feels to be there. This, and in his latest video for this year, he had a cat counter, like how many games he saw with cats, and I'm telling Latch, like, whatever number it is, you have to at least quadruple it, because there are so many games about cats, including this one. This one's really, really cute, and it has like these little cat meeples, and the cats are trying to get some of that and bring it back to the table. I've only seen it played, but the meeples and the board look really, really, really nice. I'm gonna open it up and show it to you. I can't wait to play it. It has like this cute little envelope inside. All the games from Game Market are so cute, and like the tiles themselves are like really nice, really thick quality, all bright and colorful. And you get like these super cute like cat meeples, and they have like these little tires that they play with and block each other with, and these custom dice. Like what? It's like there's so much variation like in Game Market, and I just can't wait to share my thoughts with you about these cat games. Like, oh, okay. this is probably the game that I played most out of all these games so far, and it's this one. This is called Harvest, and oh wow, I gotta say thank you to James Nathan for pointing this out to me. And a long time ago, I think it was like Eric Lang posted somewhere, it's like, I want to see new games at the BGG Con, and so I was like, find James Nathan and just walk around with James Nathan. You'll find a lot of fun games. And I followed that advice at Tokyo Game Market, and I was not disappointed, because James Nathan is so much fun to hang out with and talk about games. Harvest is a 30-year-old game that was designed by the Japanese railway company because they want a game that can play on trains, like on your tray, that's good for families. This plays 1 to 6 in like 20 minutes. It is brutally mean. It is take that to the extreme, and in the best of ways. It is hilarious. My wife hates it because the first time I showed it to her, I think I defeated her by like 50 points. I think I had like something like 200 points and she had like 110 or something like that. But yeah, this game is so much fun. I absolutely adore this game. Never leaving my collection. But the big one that I took from this photo that got most comments and most engagement was BioHack from Uchibukoya. They are doing a Kickstarter in June of this game. This is a review copy of the game. Now, I played this at 2, I played this at 3, goes up to 4, but there's also a solo variant, which I'm going to play later today, and I am going to make a lot of content about this. I'll do some teach and play videos. I think I'm going to do one for the definitely for the multiplayer and definitely for the solo, and so that way players can see what it feels like. Man, this feels like Island of Dr. Moreau. You know that book, right? You've read books? Island of Dr. Moreau, Pokemon, and pink with a splash of purple, because wow, there's a lot of pink here, and it just looks very striking on the board. The meeples are always amazing quality with Uchibukoya. The designer of this game is from Indonesia, which I find really, really cool. So I'm like super, super excited about this game. I have a lot to say about this game, and I can't wait to share with all of you about this one, because wow, there's a lot to unpack with this one. And that has been all the games that I acquired at Tokyo Game Market. Whew, there's a lot. Again, just follow me on Instagram and you'll see lots of pictures and lots of stories about my adventure as I work my way through these, and I'll give you a little bit of tidbits about each of the games and what I think, and it'll all lead up to videos. Now, the one question you might ask me is like, Jay, do you think any of these would land in your top 100 list? And the answer to that is